All right, each year, the NCAA basketball tournament is one of the most popular sporting events in the entire country. And if you love filling out a bracket, picking which of the 68 teams will win each year, did you know that you have the University of Maryland to thank for what the tournament has become? It all goes back to the 1974 men's team and an epic game that they didn't win. Tom Rousey explains in this DMV 250 story.
You're seeing now why these two teams have been ranked number 1 and number 4.
52 years later, the 1974 ACC Tournament championship game between Maryland and NC State is still considered one of the best games in college basketball history. Inside a sold-out Greensboro Coliseum, the Terrapins and the Wolfpack traded basket after basket all night.
I've never seen these two teams fight harder, Bill.
Legendary Maryland coach Lefty Driesell was trying to lead his team to its third win in 3 days. The game even went into overtime, but in the end, NC State center Tom Burleson's 38 points helped lead the Wolfpack to an epic 103-100 win. The teams combined for more than 200 points in an era when three-point shots and the shot clock did not yet exist.
And this is Lucas behind his back on the break.
Maryland guard John Lucas will never forget that night.
That game was at such a high level, and it had about 10 pros on the court.
After the game, NC State went on to win the national championship. But for Maryland, something happened that would be unthinkable today. Despite being one of the best teams in the country, the Terps did not get to play in the NCAA tournament.
That's McMillan. He has great range.
Forward Tom McMillan explains why.
There were 25 teams that got into the NCAA tournament back then, and that was all one from every conference. You had to win your conference, and that was the rule then.
In those days, no at-large teams could play.
Elmore on the rebound.
Which center Len Elmore says was not right.
There's no question about it. We were one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the nation, and not to be able to go to the NCAA tournament was, an injustice, really.
Meanwhile, teams nowhere near as good as Maryland did make the NCAA tournament.
A lot of those conferences were really not good basketball conferences. So you had, out of those 25 teams, there were only a couple of those teams that could ever compete with us. So it was frustrating.
More than a half-century later, it's still hard at times for the Terrapins who played that night to stomach the loss.
I buried that moment so deep in my memory that but it changed March Madness.
Months later, the NCAA announced a rule change. Starting the next season, it would expand the tournament to 32 teams, and for the first time, at-large teams who did not win their conference would be allowed in. There was no question in anyone's mind why the rule change was made.
It was entirely because of that game. It was done because of the inequity of one of the top 3 teams in the country not being able to go into the tournament.
McMillan says slowly but surely that led to the tournament as we know it today.
They kept doing that now till they have 68 teams.
Although the rule change came too late for Maryland's 1974 team, the players take some comfort in knowing they opened opportunities for other teams.
That's the only redemption that I can think of in that loss, that, we made people open their eyes. They saw the injustice, they saw the absurdity, and recognized that they needed to expand the field so that, something like that could never happen again.
Every time I'm in the gym and I'm talking about to college kids, high school kids, I say, that 74 team, we changed basketball.
One school that benefited 28 years later,
And the kids have done it!
was the University of Maryland, which broke through and finally won its first national championship in 2002, despite not winning the ACC tournament.
They lost the ACC, but they had a second chance because the rules were changed back because of that game.
Today, March Madness is one of the most popular sports events in the country. If you love it, as you watch the Final Four this weekend, raise a toast to the 1974 Terrapins, because thanks to them, the tournament has never been the same, and that's a good thing. For DMV 250, I'm Tom Rousey, 7 News.